The Empire's peace-setting the stage. The story opens in the vast galactic empire of the Dominion, a massive civilization spanning thousands of star systems. For over 2 millennia, the Empire is ruled with absolute authority under Emperor Vex and his ruling council. The Empire believes itself to be the apex of galactic evolution, technologically superior, militarily unmatched, and culturally refined. The Empire's capital world, Prime Station, orbits a massive blue star. Here, Admiral Kane receives routine reports from frontier worlds. The Empire has recently expanded into a new sector, claiming several resource-rich systems. Their advanced warships, powered by quantum cores and armed with plasma cannons, have never met serious resistance. The Empire's military doctrine is simple: overwhelming force, swift conquest, and total submission. Their warships are sleek, elegant vessels that strike fear into lesser species. The Empire has conquered over 50 different alien races, each one falling within months of first contact. However, strange reports begin filtering in from the outer rim. Deep space sensors detect unusual readings in the void between galaxies, energy signatures that don't match any known technology. Scout ships sent to investigate simply vanish without sending distress signals. The Empire's scientists dismiss these incidents as equipment failures or natural phenomena. On the frontier world of New Terra, Governor Blake oversees mining operations when his communications officer receives an encrypted message from the void. The transmission is brief but chilling. We are coming home. The message is in an unknown language that somehow translates perfectly in their minds. Meanwhile, in the depths of space, something massive moves through the darkness. Ancient ships, scarred by countless battles, drift silently toward the Empire's borders. These vessels are crude compared to the Empire's elegant designs. They're built for war, not beauty. Inside these ships, beings prepare for a conflict that has been building for generations. The part ends with Emperor Vex dismissing the frontier reports as the fantasies of nervous colonists, while deep space monitoring stations detect the first signs of massive fleet movements in the void. First contact gone wrong. The Empire's arrogance. 3 Empire. Patrol ships encounter the first human vessel near the edge of Imperial space. The human ship appears primitive by Empire standards, angular, heavily armored with visible weapon systems and scarred hull plating. Captain Rex of the Imperial fleet immediately demands surrender, expecting the usual quick submission. The human ship responds with a simple message: "You took our colonies. You enslaved our people. Now you face the consequences." Captain Rex laughs at what he sees as primitive posturing. The Empire ship powers up its plasma weapons and prepares for a routine conquest. They fire first, expecting their advanced weaponry to cripple the crude human vessel instantly. Instead, the human ship's shields absorb the blast with minimal damage. Return fire comes in the form of kinetic weapons, simple metal projectiles accelerated to incredible speeds. The primitive weapons punch through the Empire ship's elegant energy shields like paper, tearing massive holes in the hull. The engagement lasts only minutes. 2 Empire ships are destroyed outright, their crews vaporized. The third, Captain Rex's flagship, is crippled but allowed to escape. As Rex's damaged ship limps back to Imperial space, his crew is in shock. Their superior technology has been defeated by what appears to be crude, primitive weapons. The surviving crew brings word back to Admiral Kane. They have encountered a new species that doesn't follow the expected pattern of quick surrender. Worse, these beings seem to know about the Empire's methods and have prepared specifically to counter them. Intelligence, REPORTS, revealed disturbing information. The human ships use tactics the Empire has never encountered. They attack in coordinated waves, use their own ships as weapons when necessary, and show no fear of death. Their technology is different but effective. Built for function over form. Emperor Vex receives the report with growing anger. No primitive species has ever successfully resisted the Empire's might. He orders a full battle fleet to the frontier, 200 ships armed with the Empire's most advanced weapons. Surely this will be enough to crush these upstart humans and restore imperial prestige. However, deep space reconnaissance reveals the true scope of what approaches. The human fleet isn't a small raiding force. It's an armada numbering in the thousands. Ships of every size and configuration, from small fighters to massive dreadnoughts, all bearing the scars of countless battles. As the Empire's response fleet mobilizes, intercepted human transmissions reveal their intent. They're not interested in conquest or negotiation. They've come for war, pure and simple. Generations of imperial oppression have forged humanity into something the Empire has never faced, an enemy that cannot be intimidated, bought, or reasoned. The part concludes with both fleets moving toward their first major engagement, each side confident in their approach, but for entirely different reasons. The Battle of Dead Star System, where empires fall. The Empire's response fleet. 200 of their finest warships arrives at the Dead Star System, a collection of lifeless worlds orbiting a dying star. Admiral Kane commands from his flagship, confident that Imperial firepower will quickly end this rebellion. The human fleet waits for them among the asteroid fields and dead planets. Admiral Stone commands the human forces from the bridge of an ancient battleship that has seen decades of warfare. Unlike the pristine Imperial vessels, the human ships show their battle history in every scarred hull plate and patched armor section. The battle begins at long range with the Empire's traditional tactics, coordinated plasma barrages designed to overwhelm enemy shields through sheer firepower. The Imperial ships move in perfect formation, their weapons creating brilliant displays of destructive energy. The humans respond differently. They break formation immediately, using the asteroids and planetary debris as cover. Their return fire consists of kinetic weapons, explosive charges, and simple but effective missiles. Where Imperial weapons are elegant and precise, human weapons are brutal and overwhelming. As the battle progresses, the Empire's technological advantages begin to fail them. Their energy shields, designed to repel other energy weapons, prove vulnerable to kinetic attacks. Their precise targeting systems become useless when human ships use ramming attacks and kamikaze. The turning point comes when human fighters, small craft dismissed by Imperial tacticians as insignificant, swarm the larger Imperial vessels. These fighters carry nuclear weapons and pilots willing to die to ensure their delivery. Imperial point defense systems, designed for ship-to-ship combat, cannot track the numerous small targets. Admiral Kane watches in horror as his fleet is systematically destroyed not through superior technology, but through superior determination. Human ships continue fighting even after taking damage that would cripple Imperial vessels. Human crews repair battle damage while under fire, and disabled human ships become weapons themselves, ramming Imperial vessels or self-destructing to take enemies with them. The Empire's perfect formations become death traps as disabled Imperial ships collide with their neighbors. The humans exploit every weakness, turning the Empire's coordinated tactics against them. In the final phase of the battle, Admiral Kane's flagship finds itself surrounded by human vessels. Stone offers one chance for surrender, which Kane proudly refuses. The Imperial flagship is destroyed in a coordinated attack by 6 human ships, taking Admiral Kane and his crew with it. Of the 200 Imperial ships, fewer than 30 escape the Dead Star System. The survivors carry word back to the Empire. Humanity fights like no species they've ever encountered. They don't seek glory or honor, they seek victory. Regardless of cost, the humans continue their advance toward Imperial space, leaving the Dead Star System littered with the wreckage of Imperial dreams of easy conquest. The Empire's desperate measures, 770 words, when giants fall news of the devastating defeat at Dead Star. System spreads throughout the Empire like wildfire. For the first time in over 2,000 years, an Imperial fleet has been completely destroyed by a supposedly primitive enemy. Panic spreads through the outer colonies as governors realize their defenses are inadequate. Emperor Vex summons his war council in the great throne room of Prime Station. The assembled admirals and generals argue about how to respond to this unprecedented threat. Some advocate for negotiation, others for total war. Vex silences them all with a single declaration: the humans will be exterminated completely. Asterisk, the Empire begins mobilizing its full military might. Factory worlds increase warship production to maximum capacity. The Imperial Navy recalls ships from garrison duties across the galaxy. Ancient weapon systems, sealed away for centuries, are brought out of storage. General Krax, the Empire's most experienced military commander, takes charge of the defensive preparations. He studies the surviving footage from Dead Star system, trying to understand how the humans fight so effectively with seemingly inferior technology. Asterisk, what he discovers disturbs him greatly. Human tactics aren't random or crude. They're specifically designed to counter Imperial methods. Their weapons target Imperial weaknesses that no one thought existed. Their strategies exploit flaws in Imperial doctrine that have gone unnoticed for millennia. Meanwhile, the human fleet continues its advance through Imperial space. They don't stop to occupy conquered worlds. They simply destroy military installations and move on. Their goal isn't conquest, but revenge, and they pursue it with mechanical determination. On the industrial world of Factory Prime, workers labor desperately to complete the Empire's newest weapon, a massive space station armed with planet-killing weaponry. If they can't stop the humans through conventional warfare, they'll threaten to destroy human colony worlds to force a surrender. However, intelligence reports reveal a disturbing truth about the human fleet. These aren't refugees or rebels. They're survivors. The ships approaching Imperial space carry the remnants of human civilization, driven from their homes by Imperial expansion decades ago. They've spent generations preparing for this moment, building their fleet in the void. Between galaxies, the human ships themselves tell the story of their exile. Each vessel is a testament to human endurance and determination. They fought pirates, hostile aliens, and the void itself to survive. Now, they've returned to settle accounts with the Empire that destroyed their worlds, as the Empire's new fleet assembles, over 1,000 ships. The largest military force in Imperial history, intercepted human communications reveal their next target, the core worlds. The heart of Imperial civilization. Emperor Vex makes a fateful decision. Rather than wait for the humans to attack, he'll lead the Imperial fleet in one final, decisive battle. The Empire's entire military strength will crush these upstart humans once and for all. But as the Imperial fleet prepares to depart Prime Station, long-range sensors detect something that shakes even Vex's confidence. The human fleet has grown. What started as thousands of ships has become tens of thousands. Every surviving human in the galaxy has joined the fleet, bringing whatever ships they can. The final confrontation approaches, and for the first time in its history, the Galactic Empire faces an enemy that might actually destroy it completely. Humanity's judgment, the reckoning. The final battle takes place in the Solar Nexus, a strategic star system at the heart of the Empire. Emperor Vex personally commands the Imperial fleet from his flagship, a massive dreadnought that represents 2 millennia of Imperial technological advancement. Over 1,000 Imperial warships spread across space in perfect formation, facing them is humanity's revenge fleet, 20,000 ships of every size and configuration. Admiral Stone commands not from a flagship, but from an ancient colony ship converted for war, surrounded by vessels that tell the story of humanity's exodus. And survival. The battle begins with Vex's traditional declaration of Imperial supremacy, demanding immediate surrender. Stone's response is simple: you had your chance for peace. Now face judgment. The engagement that follows dwarfs every previous battle in galactic history. The Empire's weapons create brilliant displays of destructive energy, but humanity responds with overwhelming numbers and ruthless determination. For every Imperial ship, 20 human vessels press the attack. The humans employ tactics that horrify Imperial commanders. They use damaged ships as weapons, coordinate suicide attacks with precision, and show no regard for traditional rules of warfare. Human fighters swarm Imperial vessels like insects, each pilot willing to die to inflict damage. As the battle progresses, the Empire's numerical disadvantage becomes critical. Their superior technology cannot overcome humanity's willingness to sacrifice everything for victory. Imperial formations crumble under sustained assault from multiple directions. Emperor Vex watches his fleet disintegrate around him. The humans don't fight for glory or conquest, they fight for survival and revenge, making them infinitely more dangerous than any enemy the Empire has faced. In the battle's climax, Stone's converted colony ship faces Vex's dreadnought in single combat. The Imperial vessel has superior weapons and armor, but the human ship carries something more powerful: the determination of an entire species that refuses to die quietly. The duel ends when Stone's ship, critically damaged and losing life support, rams the Imperial dreadnought at full speed. Both vessels are destroyed in the collision, but their deaths mark the end of the Empire's resistance, with their fleet destroyed and their emperor dead. The remaining Imperial forces surrender. Humanity's revenge fleet spreads throughout Imperial space, not as conquerors but as liberators, freeing the dozens of species the Empire had enslaved. In the aftermath, the galaxy learns a harsh lesson about underestimating humanity. The species that seemed primitive and crude had actually spent generations preparing for this moment. Their inferior technology was specifically designed to counter Imperial advantages. Their seemingly random tactics were carefully planned. Strategies. The story concludes with the establishment of a new galactic order. Humanity doesn't seek to replace the Empire's tyranny with their own. Instead, they help create a confederation of free species, each governing themselves while cooperating for mutual defense. The final scene shows the ruins of Prime Station, the Empire's former capital, being dismantled by human salvage crews. Among the wreckage, they find records of all the species the Empire destroyed or enslaved. Each name is added to humanity's memorial, a reminder that some actions have consequences that echo across generations. The story ends with a human child, born during the long journey between galaxies, looking out at the stars and asking when they can go home. Her mother points to a distant star and says, "We are home. We've always been home." The galaxy just needed reminding that humanity doesn't give up, doesn't surrender, and never forgets.